parade. Ho, hey, ho.
Hey Musical Explorers, I'm Chen Lo.
I'm Asante.
And we are Soul Science Lab. And we're really excited that you're gonna be learning hip hop with us.
So I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. If you've ever heard of New Orleans, you know it's the birthplace of jazz. So as a young person, I would go out in the streets and we have these amazing things called second lines. And in second lines, you see brass bands, trombones, trumpets, bass drums, and tubas. And they basically march and parade up the street, play songs, and the community comes out. I saw the Marching 100 coming down the street. It was amazing. It was like nothing I'd ever seen. The guys were wearing these purple and gold uniforms, and even though they were in high school, they looked like giants to me. I said to myself, I want to join this band. I want to be in the Marching 100. A few years later, I got the opportunity, and I chose to play the saxophone. And I still play the saxophone. And I actually chose that instrument because it's what my father had in the attic. And he said, I'm not buying any new instruments. So that's what I played.
Los Angeles is where I was introduced to hip hop. My older brother was into hip hop music, and of course, you know, by default, I ended up getting connected to hip hop as well. He tried rapping, and naturally, I wanted to do the same thing, and so it inspired me to write my first rhyme. I actually performed it for my grandmother. She loved it. She said, I don't necessarily know what you're doing, but whatever it is, you're good at it, and you should keep going. And from there, I never stopped. I met Asante actually performing with another friend. It was a great show. I saw him perform. He was an amazing saxophone player. I was an MC up and coming, and we ended up living together.
So when we ended up living together, it was the perfect combination because we can make all of the noise we want. It was like heaven. We started a band together, and we've just been rocking out that way ever since. Soul Science Lab, you want to know what the name means, and I'm happy you do. Let's start with soul. Soul has to do with feeling, emotion, expression, that thing you feel when you hear a great piece of music or even when you see a beautiful sunset.
Right, and science is about experimenting and creating things that make people feel good, that make people's souls feel great.
The laboratory is the place and the space we come together to make it all happen and run our beautiful experiments on your ears.
Hip-hop is a magnificent culture that's global. It's a phenomenon.
Hip-hop is magic and fun. It's a way to take your speech, anything you're thinking about or want to say, add some rhythm to it, and you got a song.
So you might already know that hip-hop music was born in the Bronx in 1973 at this epic block party. But it had its starts actually before that. So hip-hop has its roots in jazz, has its roots in blues, has its roots in R&B also. But even further back, hip-hop rhythms were born in West Africa, in countries like Senegal, in Mali, and in Ghana. Hip-hop is really just the newest form of black music.
A lot of music programs weren't happening in school, so people basically had to make their own music programs with the technology and the equipment they found, turntables and microphones. And it was a way to be creative and do something productive and spread good qualities and values in the community. Hip-hop continues to be a thing, a music, a technology that can transform people's lives. I mean, look, it's transformed our lives, and we think it can transform your life too if you give it a chance. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I hope you've learned something too.
And now it's your turn to create something fun, exciting, and new.
Hip-hop parade, ho, hey.